Hello Whitehall Academy! So today I thought I'd do a little video for you showing you how to work out the perimeter and area of some shapes, and then we'll do a little bit of problem solving using what we learn. So perimeter and area of shapes, and then a bit of problem solving. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so starting off with perimeter and how to work it out. The perimeter is the distance around the entire shape. So it's the entire distance around of the outside of the shape. So this shape here is a square. And think what we know about squares. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and all 4 sides are the same. So in here, to make it easier, I've written in the measurements of all 4 sides. So each side is 3 meters. But even if I didn't have the measurements written on these 3 sides, because of the shape of the square and the fact we know all 4 sides are the same, we would know that we are going to have 4 lots of 3. So, to work out the perimeter of this shape, we need to add all of the sides together. So 3, add 3, add 3, add 3, which we could also, just for this shape, say 3 times 4. But if I work it out, 3 add 3 is 6. Add another 3, 9, add another 3, 12. So the perimeter of this shape is going to be 12. But it's very important for perimeter, I do not forget my unit. So my unit here is meters. So I'm going to write meters. 12 meters is the perimeter, so the distance all the way around that square. Next one down here, I have a different shape. I have my rectangle. So the opposite sides are going to be equal. So 2 and 2 and 14 and 14. So this time I'm going to do 14, add 14, add 2, add 2. So 14 add 14, or double 14. You could use column method. I'm going to work it out in my head. So 10 add 10, 20. 4 add 4, 8. So that's going to be 28. And then add 2 add 2. 2 add 2 is 4. Add those together, and my whole perimeter is going to be 32. Again, that is the entire distance. If you were to walk all the way around the shape, that is how far you'd have to walk. But I've missed something. What have I missed? My units, exactly. So 32 centimetres. This one here isn't a square or a rectangle, so it looks a bit trickier. But again, all we're going to do is add together all of the sides. That is all we are doing. So I have first, if I go this way, 4 add 2, add 2, so I've got to here now, add 2, so I've done 4, add 2, add 2, add 2, add another 2. Crossing them off, it helps me not get lost, that's why I do it. Add 4. So 4 add 2 is 6, add another 2, 8, then we get another 2, 10, 12, 16. So my answer is 16, but I need to remember my units, kilometres. And that is the perimeter of that shape. So that is how we work out perimeter. I'm now going to teach you how to work out a couple of problems using what we've learned about the shapes here. Okay, so perimeter problems, and it's very important to remember on questions that you'll get that most of the time they will not be to scale. So using a ruler to measure won't help you. And even if sort of distances look the same, you need to use your mathematical knowledge to work them out, because just because they look the same doesn't mean they will be. So this first one here is giving you the length of one of the sides. And remember, to work out perimeter, we need the length of all of the sides. And it says, what is the perimeter? Now for this, you need to look at what the shape is. It's a square. Now can you think what you know about squares? That's right, all four sides are the same. So if you know one side on a square is 6 meters, you know that all the other sides are also going to be 6 meters. So you do 6 add 6, add 6, add 6, or 6 times 4, which is going to be 24. Remember your unit so you don't use a mark, 24 meters. That's the perimeter. Perfect. Now this one is a little bit trickier. The question marks here are missing measurements, and that's what it wants you to work out. So you know this length here, you know this length, you know this length, and you know this length. So you need to use what you know to help you work out the answers. Now, what I like to do is first look at my opposite sides. So, what measurements do I have that are vertical lines? If I move my pen across, first one I hit is this one. Then if I keep going along, I'm looking for vertical lines that I've drawn. Next one is this length here, 4 centimeters. Move it along again. And I have 9 centimeters. So I know I'm going to use my 4 and my 9 to work out my mystery length. Now, my 9 here, this length over here is definitely smaller than my 9. So I know I'm not going to be adding because that would give me a bigger number, so it wouldn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is my 9 take away my 4, because if I do 9 take away 4, so this is my 9 length here, and I take away that 4, I get this square here, which is my mystery length. So I'm going to do 9 take away 4, which equals 5. Remember your units you're measuring in, centimeters. So down here, I have 5 centimeters. And you know it's correct because if you do 5 add 4, you get 9, which is the biggest vertical length. Now, I'm going to use the same strategy and hit all my horizontal lines going across. So I have 10, 6, and my mystery number that I'm trying to work out. So again, we know that this length here is going to be my longest length, and I'm subtracting that 6 centimeters because that will give me the length here. So I'm going to do 10 take away 6, which will give me 4 centimeters. Makes sense because if I do 6 add 4, I get my 10, my full length across. Perfect. Now in some questions, it might ask you to work out, after doing all of that, the perimeter of your whole shape. In which case you do 5, add 6, add 4, add 4, add 9, add 10. And that would be the perimeter of your whole shape. So that is perimeter. I hope that has helped a bit, and we will now move on to area. Okay, so welcome to area. Firstly, what is area? Now, area is the amount inside a 2D shape. So perimeter, we were looking at the distance around the outside. Area, we are looking at the quantity inside. So we need a different method to work it out. And to work out the area of squares and rectangles, it's very simple what you do. We use our multiplication because we do the width times the height. The width times the height. So here I would have 4 times 4, which would be 16. Area, the tricky thing to remember, is it's shown in a different way. So you remember, we're talking about a distance or an amount, so we need our units. So I have 16 centimetres. But then when we are describing area, it's the amount inside, and to show that, we do a little 2 to show that it is 16 centimetres squared. It is 16 centimetres inside this shape, not just a normal length or distance around, it's the amount inside the shape, so it's 16 centimetres squared. Here we are going to again do width times height, so I know that is going to be 2 times 8, which again, funnily enough, is going to be 16 metres, and then I need to remember, because I'm talking about area, it's squared. So I'm going to have my little 2 to show that it is the quantity inside my 2D shape. But we're not always going to be working out the areas of just squares and rectangles. So next I'm going to show you a rectilinear shape. Okay, so here is my rectilinear shape. You will notice it is rectangles and squares, or 2 rectangles joined together. Okay, that is what it is. So in order to work out the area of the whole rectilinear shape, we need to split it. Now, there are several ways you can split this. You could split it here, so that there is a square and this rectangle along the bottom. Or you could split it here, so you have 2 rectangles. Either way, it is going to be very similar methods for you to work it out. So I'm going to split it into a square and this rectangle here. So now I'm going to work out the area of this square, and then I'm going to work out the area of the rectangle. So the square, if we ignore this 4 here, because that's this whole length, we are just looking at 2 times 2, which is going to be 4 metres squared. Then we are looking at this rectangle down here. So we're now ignoring this bit up here. And what do we see? 6 times 2. So this section is going to be 6 times 2, which will be 12 metres, and its area, so it's squared. So now I know the area of this rectangle and this square. But now I need to put them back together because it is one shape. So I'm going to do 4 add 12, which will give me 16, still need my units, metres squared. Perfect. So that is how you work out the area of a square, area of a rectangle, and how you use that knowledge to work out the area of a rectilinear shape.
Okay, Whitehall Academy, I hope that's been useful, and I can't wait to see you working out your own problems. Maybe you could do some measurement and work out the area and perimeter of your garden or one of the rooms in your house. Might be nice to see that work on Seesaw. Well done, Whitehall Academy, I'm really proud of you, and stay safe.